Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome to Colville, Washington. Colville is, I think this is as northeast as we can get. Is that right? So I would like to ideally go to Spokane next, but we don't have to. We can go to Grand Coulee. We can, I guess we have to go through Spokane unless we backtrack through Omak, but we've got Wenatchee. We've got this whole area here, so we'll figure something out. Let's pick a job here. So we are in Colville, and we want to go somewhere in Washington. Bellingham, that's where we came from. Port Angeles is where we came from. Seattle is where we came from. Wenatchee, there we go. And we can go back that way. Yeah, that's really it. We've got two jobs going this way. I guess we'll take this one. How far is it? 182 miles? We should be able to do that in one episode. Yeah, let's do it. So we'll get our 389 fired up. It is still raining. Holy smokes, that's loud. Loud for me. You can't hear it. Turn my volume down a little bit. So we're going to hop in here. Lights on. Brake off. All right. That's all right. Okay. Cool. So let's back up here. Figure out how to get out of this parking lot. How are we doing on fuel? We're good on fuel. We can make it 180 miles. Right. Are we good? I believe we're good. Here we go. So what is going on? How's everybody doing? It is Friday for me, Saturday for you, and man, it's been a day. It's been a Friday kind of day. I woke up this morning and had to run some errands, and one of the places that I went was to that dang old ATM to get some money, dollar bill, y'all, and it said, no, you cannot has. Wouldn't take my card, wouldn't even let me get started. So, all right, so I came back to my my condo, my Airbnb, and I called Bank of America, and they said my card was, oh, Jesus, we're not in the UK. Oh, not a good beginning. Sorry, sir. Good morning. Been playing a lot of Farm Sim. A lot of UK maps. That happens. So I called customer service, and they said that my card had been flagged as part of a bulk fraud account assault thing. I don't know. Something happened. There was some kind of a thing, and my card got locked out. That was a couple days ago. And I said, they said there's a new card. A new card has been sent out to you. It should be there today, actually, because I think they expedite them when that sort of thing happens. Like if you just call and say I lost my card, you can have it expedited. But I think like when they cancel it on you, they automatically, FedEx it or whatever. So it's supposed to be here straight away. And I said, that's cool. I appreciate that. Were you going to tell me? Was there any kind of a notification? And they said, oh yeah, there'll be a notification in with the card. And it's like, okay, I'm not sure if you're clear on what a notification is, but I guess we'll split the difference on that. So hopefully my card will be here today and we'll get that going again. But that was kind of a, not how I wanted to start my Friday. But so it goes. That's all that's going on in my world as far as excitement. I don't have a very interesting life right now. There have been times, I have to tell you, there have been times in the past where I have had a very interesting life. But currently, I have a very low-key life, and I like it. I'll take it. It's a nice balance to having an interesting life, for things to not be very interesting for a while. So that is what's going on there. Gaming news. What is going on? Still no word on Road to the Black Sea for ETS. Get a good gear here. There it is. Still no word. I'm not worried, but I am curious, I guess, if nothing else. And I think I said this last episode. You know what? If the delay means that they're doing it right, good on them. Because as an example, I said, of course, Competición just patched up again, another major patch, and that's been like 6 or 7 in about a month and a half. Can't tell me that game was ready for release and it's been patched half a dozen times in half a dozen weeks. So if SCS decides to make us wait a little longer and do it right, I will take it. I will definitely take it. So that's what's going on there. And I say this every episode too. I'm really curious if there's going to be another complimentary, some kind of equipment DLC along with the regional DLC, the Road to the Black Sea stuff. I think that'd be cool if there was, but I don't know what kind of equipment is unique to that part of the world in the same way that the forestry equipment DLC was unique to Washington and Oregon. So we'll see. We'll see. That's what's going on there. What else is going on? The mod contest kicked off for Farm Simulator, and obviously I've been playing two UK maps. I've been playing the hell out of them. A couple of German maps too. There's let's get hooked up here and we'll talk a little bit about Farm Sim.
Your route guidance is now finished.
Alrighty. So let's get her in neutral. Let's set the brake and see what we got. Do we want to pick a trailer? Do we want to mess with that? No, let's just take this one. This'll do. This'll do. Where is it? It looks like it's right there. It is, in fact, right there. Let's go third person. Take a look at our fantastic Viper 389. I love this truck. I really do. Let me see. I don't want to get too many topics going at once here. So we'll talk about the mod contest. Then we'll talk about truck mods. Or really, well, it's not exactly truck mods. It's just kind of something that's been on my mind. Something I've been thinking about. So let's... one topic at a time. Right. So we're going to get this right back in here. Like so. I'm a little gun-shy about this because I think it was the last ATS video. When I hooked up, I was like way off. Just looked like an absolute grom, and I hate doing that. So we'll try to get it in one swing. Right, let's hook up. Got just a regular plain Jane 53-foot box. I'll take it. Here we go. I guess we're going straight. No other way to get out of here, really. Here we go. Oh, it's got a little weight to it. Okay. Okay. Can we just go out that way? Yeah, I think we can. So we'll swing wide. Yeah. Swing it wide. Beautiful. Maybe a little too wide. Hey, better safe than sorry, right? Right. No, we're going this way. So, the mod contest mods, there are several fantastic maps. But I have to say, there's a little bit of filler in there too. There's some maps that are not quite so good. There are some mods that have problems. There was a Unimog mod that was in the mod contest, and I could see it in the mod control panel in Farm Sim, but then I couldn't actually see it in the store after I started the game. So I thought, well, maybe I got a bad one, you know, maybe it got corrupt when I was downloading it or something. So I went back and it's gone now. And apparently that mod was broken. And, you know, that's got to be, I really think that's got to be kind of embarrassing for Giants because, you know, were these tested? I know they say they were, but were they? Were they really? Because that mod was just like broken from the jump. It didn't work. And how would it, you know, now the game did patch up from 1.4.0 to 1.4.1, I believe. And I think that's to accommodate the John Deere Cotton DLC. So it's possible, and I'm being generous here, it's possible that something in the transition from 1.4.0 to 1.4.1 broke that Unimog mod, and that they had initially tested it on 1.4.0 and it worked fine. They put it in the mod contest and then something. I'm being generous. I think it's much more likely that they didn't even test it, you know, or they tested it in some rudimentary way and, you know, it worked here, but it didn't work there because it just disappeared. It was never usable. I know last mod contest 2017, is that right? I think there wasn't one last year. I could be wrong. But there was some drama, there was some controversy, there was some stolen mods and stolen pieces, and there were some broken mods and various things. So, I mean, I know Giants is not the biggest company, they're not the biggest developer, and I know there's always a little bit of spin in business. You try to put the best look on things. You try to present things in a specific way, and sometimes the way that you claim things ain't the way they really are. So if Giants doesn't have the staff or the time to get all those mods tested, of course they're not going to say that. They're going to say, oh yeah, we thoroughly test everything and it's super duper awesome. And it's not exactly lying. It's just a little PR. It's just business. So it's I don't know. It's not as good as I thought it would be, I guess is what I'm getting at. The mod contest is not, it just doesn't seem that great. But I've said before, the whole landscape of modding, at least for all the sims that I'm into, seems to be evolving. And that makes perfect sense. Things do not stay the same forever and ever. Everything is constantly changing and constantly evolving. So could be that gaming and modding is just evolving before our eyes. Who knows? Who knows? But on a more positive note, several really good maps. A couple German and a couple UK. I downloaded, I want to say about 8 or 9. And very quickly there were like, say 4 or 5 that I just immediately, I tested them for 10 minutes and then just deleted them. Just not working for me. Not happening for me. But the ones that I have kept are quite good, and I think I'm going to get a lot of hours out of them. There are some good equipment mods. Most of it's smaller, and again, going back to 17, that's when Seasons dropped. And I think Seasons kind of spoiled us for modding, because it was, in some ways, Seasons it's like pro mods. It's almost bigger than the game in the way that it changes everything, and there's nothing like that this year. Oh dear. Oh, don't hit the barricade. Oh, Jesus. Oh. I was trying to swing wide. I didn't plan on swinging nearly that wide. And I certainly wasn't expecting that Jersey barrier, that concrete barrier in front of us. Whew. Very exciting. All right. Well, I believe we've made it out of Colville. If I can find a good gear here. There it is. So yeah, a lot of smaller equipment, and there are some good mods, some good equipment that I actually know I'll never use. I can recognize the quality of the mod, but I can also recognize, like, yeah, I'm not going to use that. I'm never going to use that. I'll probably delete it relatively quickly. So it is what it is. But I can see modding evolving. At least I think I can. I could be wrong. But it seems to be, the modding landscape just seems to be changing, at least for sim gaming, and for for shooters or RPG games or various other games that people mod heavily. I don't follow them, so I can't speak to that, but at least in sim gaming it does seem to be evolving. So that's what's going on there. Set of Corsa Competizione did patch up again. It continues to improve, and it continues to get better and better with every patch. There are still some glaring defects. Things like in career mode, there's no leaderboard. Okay, like what exactly am I doing here? You finish well in a race, and how am I doing compared to other drivers? And at the next race, when you think about strategy, when you're in a championship, it may be smarter to play it a little bit safer, and maybe have a second or third place finish, but your rival for the points lead is in 7th or 8th, and obviously you want first whenever possible, but second or third could be a much safer, more predictable finish for you, and since you still well beat your rival, you're good to go. But you need to know who your rival is to have that kind of strategy, and there is no leaderboard in career mode. So there are a lot of big holes in that game still, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and the physics is getting better. The AI, I think, is improving, and it's a fun sim. It's just got some holes in it, but it'll get there. So that is what's going on there, and I guess that ties in with what I was saying earlier about the Viper. I really have been thinking about YouTube and trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to keep things fresh and interesting and exciting. And I know the videos that I release that do the best, and again, this is, scale everything down because I got a tiny channel, but it's still, 10% is 10%. It doesn't matter what the whole number is. 10% is 10%. Or whatever percentage is. the videos that I release that do the best are the ones that have something new in them. And I'm mindful of that, and I want to give you things that you want to see, but I also want this to be about, how I game. Something I read early days when I was first thinking about getting a YouTube channel going. Something that I read was, just be yourself. More than anything else, just be yourself and do what you want to do. Don't chase subs, don't chase likes, don't chase views. Just do what you want. And what I want to do is make videos about how I game. And I realized that I have favorite equipment in race sims, I have favorite equipment in truck sims, and I have favorite equipment in farm sims. And I've been conflicted about that because that's the equipment that I would use all the time. I typically play UK style maps, and I have equipment that I think fits really, really well on my sort of medium-sized UK farms. I don't do 100 horsepower farms. I don't do 600 horsepower farms. I'm somewhere right in the middle. And I've got some mod tractors and mod equipment, and then there are things that I've edited myself and made some unique changes, and I'd be happy to use that equipment on every UK map I play. But thinking about you, thinking about you and wanting to give you things that you want to see. And in the same way, I could drive this Viper 389 every episode, but there are times when I feel sort of compelled to mix it up a little bit, or drive our RJL Scania or our DAF in Euro Truck. Now in the race sims, because I'm not bringing those to the channel at the moment, God, it is so hard to make an interesting racing video. It really is. I thought it'd be a piece of cake. It's like nigh impossible, and I cringe when I look back at the race videos that I posted early days of the channel. I cringe a lot, but I'm leaving those up because I want to keep myself, I want to be able to see the progress. I also want to remind myself what a tool I used to be. Used to be, you say? Yeah, you know what I mean. But it's really, really hard to make a race video. So those aren't up on the channel right now. However, in race videos, because I race so much in sports cars, and because I typically race the AMG GT3, same thing. I can drive that car in every sim, in every race sim that I'm on, and who cares, because nobody's seeing it but me. But it's the same sort of thing. I have equipment that I like, and I kind of just want to use it over and over, but I don't want the channel to get stale or boring or anything. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's also interesting to me, very interesting, that on the truck sim, there really haven't been speed limit here. There we go. There really haven't been that many big significant truck mods. When did ATS come out? 2012, 2013? And there's maybe 5 or 6 big significant truck mods. I mean actual trucks themselves, not mods for trucks, but actual whole trucks, like the RJL Scania or the Madster MAN. Those have been out, when you look on their threads, they've got 300 and 400 pages of comments. So those have been out for quite a while. But in terms of, somebody sort of coming up with a new one, I don't know that happens too often. And that, again, makes me wonder about, the landscape of modding and, what's going on. Why is that different? Why would the RJL Scania be made so many years ago and be maintained to this day, well maintained, very timely on the updates and patches? But why was that made so good so long ago and nothing since? I'm curious about that. I'm curious why there aren't 15 or 18 or 20 truck mods in the same way that there are dozens or maybe even hundreds of tractor mods for farm sim. As a franchise, I don't know which is more popular, truck sim or farm sim. I think they're about equal. I think they both have a very dedicated, very loyal fan base. But I certainly see people clamoring for truck mods, and yet there just aren't any. And I mean, that tells me, for one thing, that it's extremely difficult. This is not something you can just knock out. You got to have a special skill set and some unique gifts and talents to be able to pull something off like that and have it be good or successful. But I don't know. I mean, it in some ways, to me, it is astounding that as long as these franchises have been out, we've really only got, like I said, maybe half a dozen good, significant truck mods. Half a dozen on the ETS side, half a dozen on the ATS side. So my point is, I guess that sort of leaves us with a limited selection in terms of, cool stuff to drive on the channel. But the ones that we do have are so good, and like in the case of this 389 that we're in right now, it's so good. I don't know that I would necessarily want to drive anything else. We've got our 378, which is a 389 sort of disguised as a 378. We've got our little log truck. Maybe we'll drive that out of, where are we going, Wenatchee? Maybe we'll drive our little log truck out of Wenatchee. We'll buy a garage there. We'll build a log trailer there, and we'll go looking for a log job. Because Central Washington, I'm guessing, has got to be pretty thick with timber. So maybe we can mix it up a little bit, but
Go straight on.
oh dear, no, we're going to be okay. But even that, if we go with our little log truck, that's still the Viper 389. So you see what I'm getting at. Hang on, I'm going to have a sip of coffee here at this red light. And we're drinking iced Cuban coffee today. And it is very, very strong. Holy smokes. There we go. I will say, I know we're in 1.35 now. The physics really do feel a lot more sort of fluid, and I can really feel the weight of the truck more. I don't know if I'm imagining that. I don't know if it's visual or if it's coming from edits they've made to the physics, but I really do like the way the trucks feel in 1.35. It's subtle, but definitely better than, in my opinion, definitely better than 1.34. Really liking it. So that is, that's Truck Sim, Farm Sim, DLC, Mod Contest, Assetto Corsa Competizione. What else is going on? Nothing, man. Nothing. We're fixing to get, it's hurricane season in the southeast of the United States where I am. I've been in a total of about 5 hurricanes in my life, and none of them, I was well inland for all of them, 50, 60, 100 miles inland. So by the time it gets 100 miles inland, it's just a terrible, terrible thunderstorm that goes on for a couple days. But, I guess at that point, there's really very few people left, out on the shore proper, because there's a damn hurricane coming. Of course, they evacuate people. But it's not the most fun I've ever had. But it's also not, it wasn't that scary for me at any point. I'm not trying to, co-opt anybody's drama. Oh, I've been in a hurricane. I've been in some really, really bad inland thunderstorms, but that's cranking up right now, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm far enough inland now that anything that does make it to me would, like I said, just be bad thunderstorms, but it can still disrupt things. Power goes out. It's a bit of a scene. So that's getting ready to crank up. We'll see how that goes. I'm trying to think what else. I've been racing a lot. Oh man, I've been racing a lot. I'm trying to do, every day I'm trying to do one Grand Prix in F1 2018 because I want to finish my season, and honestly I prefer it to F1 2019. I'm trying to do one race in MotoGP 19, and I'm in Moto 2 right now, trying to get promoted up to MotoGP, the actual class MotoGP. I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm doing really well in the points, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see what kind of contract offers I get. And then I'm trying to do one career weekend in Assetto Corsa Competizione, with a Z, son, a Z. Assetto Corsa Competizione, trying to do one race weekend, and I just started career. Well, I'm sort of into it now, but I'm on my first season of career, so they've got me in sprint mode, which are typically shorter races, although I'm told you can get into endurance races, and I don't know when you get to that level if you have to do it yourself, if you have to do it in one session, or if you can trade off like in iRacing and have multiple drivers for the same race. Right? Different drivers are taking their stints, but they're taking them remotely. So I'm here in the American South. I take the first stint, and then I hand off to somebody in, I don't know, whatever, New Zealand, and they take the second stint, and then we hand off to somebody in Sweden or somewhere, and that's how it all comes together. So we'll see how that works. But for the moment, sprint races, 30-minute races. I would prefer to do hour races, but it's career mode. So what can you do? You do the length of races that they give you. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the physics, and I'm enjoying the AI. It's a little tricky, and like all AI, eventually you just learn where to game it. You learn where it's slow every single lap, and it's typically driving out of a corner. If you can get good drive leaving a corner, very often you can just pass like one car every lap. You just pick them off there one at a time till you're in first. And I don't know what kind of rubber banding is acceptable or sort of recommended now in race sim. There are some race sims where the rubber banding is obvious and really sort of annoying and tedious, and there's others where it's like there's no rubber banding at all. If they can drop you, they will, they do, and they're just gone. And there's others where if you can drop them, you're just gone. You start pulling out, a second or two per lap, and they just never have an answer for you. But there are others where it's obvious that they are adjusting themselves mid-race. I don't know how I feel about that. As long as I don't notice it, I'm okay with that. And as sophisticated as these sims are getting, it's possible that, the AI did make, or I guess a better way to say it is, it could be possible that the AI made an adjustment during a pit stop. They adjusted downforce, they adjusted tire pressure, they went with a different compound, something. And while they may not have had an answer for you in the early part of the race, right, after that pit stop, now they do have an answer for you. So because we're used to rubber banding, or because we're looking for rubber banding, we think, wow, I was taking this guy to school and now he's catching me up. Clearly that's rubber banding. And I think, no, maybe that would just be what very sophisticated AI would look like. Because that happens in real life. You got somebody's number early part of the race, maybe on a heavy fuel load or something, and then make a pit stop or two, and now all of a sudden they've got your number, or vice versa. So yeah, just been racing a ton and trying to record a ton. Initially I was doing 1 video per day, sometimes 2 in a day, but I'd had a very different editing process and things were a lot quicker. Now I'm doing at least 4 per week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday. No ticket. Don't you do it. Thank you. Beautiful. Right through there. He's coming over. There we go. But I think I may go to 5. I think I may start posting something on Wednesday. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, just been trying to record a ton. And the mod contest was, I wouldn't say it was a challenge for me, but there were a lot of mods and certainly several maps that I wanted to do videos of, and just trying to figure out, like, how's this all going to work and what's the best way to do this. And as far as time for me, and as far as, giving you something that's relevant to you without spamming you, as you do. We're gonna do a little business up here. All right. So as we go over here, and then right through here. Interesting.
Go straight on.
All right. And it is most definitely raining more in the Pacific Northwest. Initially, I thought I was imagining it, but I have not adjusted my rain probability, and it rains like all the time up here. And I think that is, I don't know if that's been introduced across the entire map as far as it raining more, but it would make sense that it would only rain more in the Pacific Northwest, and it would rain less, or really never, down in the desert Southwest. So I feel like your rain probability should still have a plus or minus, if that makes sense. Like, let's say you set your rain probability at 50%. It's still going to be, or I would think it still should be, significantly lower in Southern California and Arizona, and significantly higher in Pacific Northwest, because it never rains in SoCal. It certainly never rains in Arizona, and it always rains in Seattle. So you see what I'm saying? We still have a range of adjustment, but then it's also sort of trumped by the game. You know, the game itself has a base, and we can only adjust within that. That would be how I'd do it.
Turn left.
All right, here we go. Right through here. Beautiful. Been swinging a little wide today, I have to say. I'm not happy about it. Right. And I will, off camera, if there's a garage in this town, I suppose I'll buy it. But even if we don't, what I'll try to do is get a... well, let me take a look first, because it could be that we've got some of those forestry machinery jobs going out of this town. And if that's the case,
Turn left.
we're going in here now? I believe we are. Right through here.
Your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
If I can find one of those forestry machinery jobs going out of Wenatchee, then we'll try to take that. Have to come at this thing from the other side. How do we feel about this? I mean, I feel like I should be pulling it in every episode, but sometimes I gotta say, you know, confidence is not super high, and I don't want to, you know, take 8 swings at it with that backup beeper going off. I know I can turn the backup beeper off, but that seems, I don't know. Now, I will tell you something that is, it's been on my mind, is, oh, this looks like it's already going tits up. All right, here we go. Something that's been on my mind is how bad this truck looks in cloudy weather. It just turns like this sort of flat, dead purple. Nope. No, sir. I don't think we're hitting over there. Obviously, I don't want to hit anything. All right. We need a pretty radical swing here. Let's just stay clear of that little tandem. There we go. There we go. And I may have to straighten it out, but that's okay. All right. All right, one more. And then over here, like so. And then straighten this out. Right. Thrower in neutral, wipers off, wipers off. Parking lights on, ignition off. Let's see how we did. On time, short trip, not a whole lot of money. We're getting there. We're getting to level 36 a little bit at a time. There you go, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.